Alright, so we understand that if you want to get things in life, you have to be disciplined. If you constantly follow your feelings, if you only do things when you're perfectly happy to do it and you're perfectly motivated, you're not going to get very far. Just because in our current world, there's a lot of things that will take your attention away from the task at hand, things that will tempt you, little urges, little, you can pull out your phone, you can scroll TikTok, you can watch a YouTube video, you can do all these things instead of the task at hand. So it makes it very easy to get distracted and not be disciplined, right? It's a big issue that most people have is not being able to do the things they need to do when they need to do them consistently. So there's a few things that I've learned over the course of my journey from someone who was basically just playing video games all day, and if I wasn't playing video games, I was watching TikTok, and if I wasn't watching TikTok, I was watching YouTube, to someone who's primarily doing things that are beneficial in the long term, delayed gratification, lifting, eating clean, doing productive means, and not that I don't slip up and stuff, but definitely a lot of progress. So the first thing is to understand that discipline is basically a skill in a way. You can think of it as a skill. So basically, when you start trying to be disciplined and you have not the best, routine, and you're not very consistent in certain things, the first thing you need to understand is if you went up to someone who was addicted to junk food, right? You wouldn't say, okay, go just transition in one day from someone who eats junk food three meals a day to someone who eats healthy 3 meals a day. Because realistically, it's not really going to be a very logical step for that person. So the same mindset can be applied to someone who's undisciplined. So wherever you are on the discipline spectrum doesn't matter, but the first thing is to just make a little incremental step, right? So for someone who's addicted to junk food, it could be, okay, try to have one meal that's healthier. One meal you make yourself, whatever. So for this person, discipline, it's, okay, take one step in the right direction. If that's, not saying essentially easy, but something that's clear and small and that you can actually action in your life. So some good examples of this are waking up, when your alarm goes off, get up right away and don't click snooze. This is something I'm working on the weekend because I notice on the weekends when I don't really have anything to get up for, it's harder to do that. So that's something I'm working on. But one thing I use is cold showers, because when you wake up in the morning and it's it's 6:45, you're not gonna be particularly motivated to do the cold shower, but it's a good practice thing for discipline. So it's just about implementing these small things into your life, and you can build momentum from there. You can build the skill, and yeah, just make sure you actually implement one habit of discipline that you're thinking of right now. Just whatever it is, just make a commitment to do that small thing. It doesn't have to be a cold shower if that seems too big of a jump, or if that seems too easy. You could choose whatever you want. Just has to be one step in front of where you are. The next thing is when you're okay. So tasks are. It's gonna be you have a decision to do this thing, or this thing, right? And your brain is set to calculate, okay, what is the easiest thing to get me the most dopamine? That's gonna be the thing you're gravitated towards, right? So if it's YouTube or homework, right? Those are the two tasks, YouTube or homework. So your brain would gravitate towards YouTube because it's easier. And I just got caught in this trap earlier today because I was had some homework to do and stuff, but then I just did YouTube because I wasn't aware and I wasn't paying attention, and so I just did YouTube instead, which was not helpful, right? So, anyways, you have these two pathways, and your brain is set to sort of go for the easiest one, right? So you have an urge to watch YouTube, right? Or urge to, go on the hub or whatever. And then what you have to do most of the time, and do this as much as possible, is when you get the urge, you understand that the urge is there, you can feel it, but you don't necessarily have to engage in the activity. You can feel the compulsion, but you can engage in a different activity, or you can just sit there and feel the urge and let it pass and go away. It's called urge surfing, which is a technique for handling addiction that addiction specialists and stuff use. It's basically if you have an addiction for something, there will be an urge and a compulsion and a craving to do it, but you can help the person get over this addiction by not having them engage in addiction. by having them like sit there with the urge and sit in that feeling, but not engage in it basically. So yeah, you can use this for yourself by just having the two tasks and then getting the urge for one and then just sitting with the urge, and then the urge will just pass, and then you can just do the thing, right? Because your brain just gets used to it after a while. Your brain gets used to, like, you're not sitting there. Let's say if you crave, okay, yeah, if you crave to click off this video, right? Because like there's some other video that's got hyper editing and more dopamine, but less knowledge, definitely less knowledge. Then that's like an urge. So if you've gotten 5 minutes and 47 seconds into a YouTube video, you're probably more like dopaminergically healthy and able to control your urges than most people, just because that's how the algorithm works. The attention economy, which is kind of fucked up. But yeah, anyways, you have to basically just let this urge go away. And you have experienced this in this video, because if you experience the urge to click another video and then you didn't do that, the urge appeared and then it went away, because you haven't spent the last 5 minutes constantly thinking about, or 6 minutes now, but constantly thinking about, this urge, and I want to click on this video because this thumbnail looks really good. You haven't thought about it. It just passed and went away, right? Okay, so we understand that. Now, one more thing I want to talk about, I have a note, is understanding the emotion that occurs from the activity. So mainly when you're engaging in like a compulsion or an addiction or whatever your thing is, I don't know, some people like it's marijuana, the next person it's like wanking or something, and the next person it's YouTube, the next person it's TikTok. So everyone has like their vice or whatever, but the main compulsion or the reason behind the compulsion is a negative mental state and negative emotions, especially a lack of feeling positive in that moment. So you're trying to use your thing to like do a quick fix and get rid of the negative emotion, get rid of the downsides, and just flip your mindset, right? So that's the motivation for it, right? It's the negative feelings and the negative emotions. So if we can understand these negative emotions and understand why we're having them and go through the steps, these 5 steps I'm going to talk about in a second, to get through to the bottom of the negative emotion and understand it so we can dissolve it, then you can make more progress in actually doing so. Because you're not really going to be able to be very disciplined if you're feeling terrible about yourself and you're just in a terrible negative mental state, because that's going to cause you to crave the addiction even more, which is not helpful. So there's the 5 steps that you need to do for the negative emotion, but before that, you have to be aware of the negative emotion. And I'm going to talk about awareness more in a minute, but it's basically being aware of yourself and your emotions, which is helped by meditation and taking time away from technology and being constantly stimulated. So basically, it's 5 steps, which is the first thing you have to understand is understand is a step, not that. So the first one is basically you ask yourself, like, what is the thing I'm feeling, right? Like, what is the negative emotion? Well, I'm feeling, I don't know, let's say like sad or whatever, just easy, right? I'm sad, okay? Then you ask yourself, you challenge it, that's the second one, is, okay, why am I feeling sad? Well, I'm feeling sad because, I don't know. What? Because I stubbed my toe, and then I fell over. That's a fucking dumb example. So yeah, okay. Anyways, whatever, we'll go with that. So I'm feeling sad because of that. Then understand, so it's like finding the underlying things of the action. So I'm feeling sad after I fell over and stubbed my toe because I'm feeling like I'm not good enough and I should have been more dexterous and stuff like that. So you're feeling sad, that's the reason. Then you have to replace this, now that you have the awareness and the understanding of the emotion, you replace the thought pattern from, oh, I'm sad because I fell over and stubbed my toe and I'm incompetent, to that's just something that happens. That's not really that big of a deal. It doesn't mean that I have to be sad because I stubbed my toe. I can just recognize that I'm gonna fail sometimes. And then the final step is visualization, which is to visualize yourself experiencing the same event and then the different thought pattern. So you like close your eyes and think about, in the future I stub my toe and fall over and I don't feel sad. I feel fine. And I just go through the same steps. Yeah. Now I said I'd touch on awareness. Video's getting a little long, so I'm gonna speed up. But basically, awareness means anything you can do to increase your awareness will decrease the amount of like temptations you get to do your addiction of choice. So anything you can do to increase awareness is a positive thing. Meditation, so meditating like 5 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day is good. Taking time away from screen, so if you can eat without watching YouTube, that's good. Have like a YouTube, like a window of instant gratification. So like for me, I watch YouTube from like 6:30 to 7:30. That's like my window in the day, and the rest of that I can read or something like that. But I can't like do any more stimulating things. So it helps you to be aware of your thoughts and have time in the day where you're not constantly being stimulated. Right. The next thing is, this is the final thing, is have a clear why and a reason, because to motivate means to have a reason for doing something. You have to have a reason to go through the pain, because if you're just like, if you have no meaning and no reason for the effort, you have no end goal, you have no driving force, it's going to be impossible actually, because you have no energy, you have no will to do it. So you have to crystallize it in your head. What is the thing that I need to do? Why am I doing it? What is the thing I don't want to do? Like, what is the pain I'm running away from? What is the pleasure I'm going towards? And what is the reason I'm going to keep myself on this track consistently? So yeah, ask yourself those questions, crystallize it. And if you need any more help with anything in particular, coaching is down below. And I can teach you all the steps I took to get where I am, all my mindset steps and everything like that. So yeah, coaching down below. Have a good one. Peace.